You wake up. The alarm is blaring. You've had a solid 8 hours of sleep, maybe even 9. But instead of leaping out of bed refreshed, you feel like you've been run over by a concrete mixer. Your eyelids feel like lead weights, your brain is wrapped in thick fog, and your immediate thought is, how many hours until I can lie down again? You drag yourself to the kitchen, brew a cup of coffee, and hope for a miracle. But deep down, you know the truth. The caffeine doesn't really work anymore. It just stops the shaking. You are constantly, deeply, exhaustingly tired. And the most frustrating part, you are doing everything right. You are getting your hours in. You aren't lazy. So why do you feel like a walking zombie? What if I told you there is a hidden biological tax you are paying every single second of the day? It has absolutely nothing to do with sleep duration, and almost everyone is paying it without realizing it. It is silently draining your cellular batteries, and until you address it, no amount of sleep, no weekend sleep-ins, and no amount of espresso will ever make you feel awake. In fact, trying to sleep more might actually be the very thing that is ruining your energy. A groundbreaking clinical study recently revealed that individuals who slept 9 hours or more actually reported significantly higher levels of daytime fatigue and cognitive sluggishness than those who slept 7. Sleeping more is often like trying to fix a leaking bucket by pouring more water into it. Think of your body like a high-end smartphone. You plug it in overnight, the screen shows 100% charge, but the moment you unplug it and walk out the door, the battery drops to 50% within 10 minutes. The problem isn't the charger. The charger is working perfectly. The problem is the internal chemistry of the battery itself. It has degraded, meaning it can no longer hold or efficiently convert that energy. But what actually degrades our internal biological battery? It is not what you think. It is not just the stress of your job, and it is not a lack of willpower. It is a silent, microscopic process happening inside your cells right now, triggered by something very specific that you probably did within 30 minutes of opening your eyes this morning.
To understand how this happens, let me tell you about Sarah. Sarah was a 35-year-old project manager who came to a health clinic completely desperate. She ate a clean diet, slept precisely 8 hours a night, and wore a fitness tracker that confirmed her deep sleep and REM cycles were in the optimal zones. Yet by 2 in the afternoon, her brain felt like wet cement. She had spent thousands of dollars on blood panels, thyroid tests, and vitamin checks. Everything came back completely normal. Her doctors told her she was just stressed. But Sarah wasn't just stressed. She was grieving the loss of her vitality. She felt like her youth was slipping away. What Sarah finally discovered saved her career, and it is the key to unlocking your own energy. The culprit wasn't a lack of sleep, but a profound state of circadian misalignment and metabolic inertia. Her cells weren't failing to produce energy. They were receiving completely conflicting signals about when to produce it. Once we corrected those signals, Sarah went from needing a midday nap to having sustained, crisp, jitter-free energy from 7 in the morning until 10 at night. Let's break down exactly why this happens, the deep science behind it, and the precise framework you can start using today to rebuild your cellular battery from scratch. The first major reason you are always tired is what neuroscientists call light-dark asymmetry, which completely breaks your circadian cycle. Inside your brain sits a tiny master clock called the suprachiasmatic nucleus. This clock regulates your body temperature, your hormones, and your cellular energy production. It doesn't keep time by looking at a watch. It keeps time by sensing blue light through specialized cells in your eyes called intrinsically photosensitive retinal ganglion cells, which contain a light-sensitive protein called melanopsin. Here is the science of why you are exhausted. When you wake up and look at your phone or stay indoors under weak household lighting, those specialized cells in your eyes register only a fraction of the lux, or light intensity, that your brain needs to trigger the morning cortisol spike. Your body needs a massive surge of cortisol early in the morning to kickstart your metabolism and clear out a sleep-inducing chemical called adenosine. Because you aren't getting enough bright light early on, your cortisol curve stays flat, Adenosine lingers in your brain and you feel groggy for hours. Then at night, when you look at bright overhead lights or screens, you send a daytime signal to your brain, which instantly halts the production of melatonin. You are essentially telling your body it is midday at midnight and midday. Your cells are in a constant state of biological jet lag.
We saw this clearly in a famous clinical study on shift workers and polar researchers. Even when these individuals slept a perfect 8 hours in blacked out rooms, their lack of natural, timed light exposure caused their core body temperature cycles to flatten. They suffered from severe daytime fatigue because their mitochondria, the powerhouses of their cells, literally did not know it was time to generate energy. To fix this, you need to implement the Morning Lux protocol. It is a simple 3-step framework. First, within 30 minutes of waking up, step outside. Do not look through a window, as glass filters out the critical wavelengths of light you need. Second, view natural sunlight for 10 minutes on a clear day or 20 minutes on a cloudy day. You do not look directly at the sun, but look in its general direction. Third, avoid bright overhead artificial lights after 8 in the evening. Switch to low-level, warm-toned lamps placed below eye level, which mimics the setting sun and protects your melatonin. Now, some of you might be thinking, what if I live in a place like Seattle, London, or Scandinavia, where it is pitch black or completely overcast for half the year? Or what if I work a night shift? If you cannot access natural sunlight, you can use a scientific edge case solution, a specialized seasonal affective disorder lamp that emits 10,000 lux of light, or light therapy glasses. Putting these on for 15 minutes while you